Okay, great. Okay, then few other things I just wanted to kind of showcase is here, right? Okay, this is a set of learning that you to be aware of, right? That is one of the important next goal, right? Um, the career path, right? Okay, now you will ask me, okay, Kannan, I understand you are saying that Salesforce is a platform that has got the great, prospect, and it is growing so fast. In 23 years, they have got these many, dollar billions and everything, right? That and all is good, but what is in it for me, right? How am I going to benefit? Okay, so we are going to cover in the next hopefully 10 minutes. Okay, now coming to this career path, right? As simple as that. Go to see anything your friend is, right? Of course, go to internet, do use any of the search engine, search for it, right? So simply Salesforce Trailhead certification. I also want you to try it, if you can, in parallel, if you can do that, right? So go to Trailhead Salesforce search, and then you will land in a page something like certification page. Okay, so you are with me so far? My voice is coming out okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so here, yeah, so basically Salesforce is very big on certification and enablement, right? So Salesforce emphasizes so much on formal credential learning, and then before that, you also have a kind of a complete the learning and then get the badges, this, that, and all. So they have made this entire process very much gamified, right? And within the Salesforce ecosystem, it's considered as a pride that if one were to have completed that many badges or that many certification, etc., it goes hand in hand. That is not the only thing, but it goes hand in hand. So now when you come to this particular page, right, this is where you see typically all their learning credentials pillared into various of these roles, right? You will not go through all the roles, but you can relate to this irrespective of whichever IT area that you have worked on or a technology that you have worked on, right? Namely, a very common one is a developer role, right? We all are familiar with that. We are with the architect role, right? It's very common, right? Then when you are in a on-premise kind of a platform and all, you would have also seen somebody playing an administrator role, whereas whether it is a database administrator and network administrator, right, and so on and so forth. So these are all very common role, right? These. Additionally, when it comes to Salesforce, they have added few supplementary, right, or over the on the top or over the top are layered or advanced. Okay, I mean you can go with any objective, right? Any adjective, right? Those additional roles have been added, right? Whether it is a sales professional, based on the function you are performing. Why sales for professional or a marketeer? It's because of CRM, right? So they have products that are geared towards it, right? Or consultant, right? So why this consultant role is, right? You understand the platform, Salesforce platform, but now it has become so huge, right? So broad. Sometimes customers may have confusion. Hey, which part of the Salesforce product that I should go for, right? And then within that product, what is the industry process I should adhere to, right? What normally customers follow, right? Other customers, right? That's where you have this kind of a consulting. I mean, I'm kind of sometimes I'm generalizing it again in the interest of time, but I hope you get the idea, right? And last but not the least, of digital experience and user experience, all the Salesforce products, right? It automatically comes with a better user experience, but when you are going to customize that platform, meaning you are going to code, right? And that's where you need to follow certain design principles and so on and so forth. So you have a design, right? User experience, screen experience, consists of screen experience, process experience, so on and so forth. So you have a designer role, right? But Net, these are all various roles one can play. But now the next question will be, hey, I am a beginner, where would I start, right? Do not worry about, don't get overwhelmed with any of these roles, right? Those are for the future, right? One can first try to understand the platform, right? What that platform offers, right? That you do it kind of, by looking at administrator role or a developer role. Do not worry if you somebody were to say, hey, I already have 20 years of experience, right? Or 15 years of experience, right? Why should I kind of go and myself as a developer? Do not about it. uh, we are only using that term here, role here, for you to learn the platform, right? So when you have to look at this administrator, Salesforce administrator, not necessarily be playing that role, you would have so many certifications here, right? We would encourage you, just look at one, right? Not all of them. Again, you will get overwhelmed, right? The idea here is just start with a very simple one, administrator, right? Someone else may say that, yeah, I don't want to start with the administrator, I may start with app builder, right? Which is also okay, right? And then someone else may say that, yeah, I will get into platform developer, and within the platform developer you have a couple of certification also, PD1 and PD2 and all, right? You can see, so you can start with maybe PD1. So net, to summarize a view here, as you kind of go through this particular, understand various roles, if you want to further, if you are very serious and further enable yourself, focus on the curriculum that is related to number one, either of PD1 or app builder or administrator. Okay, there will be many of this learning that may kind of intersect. So do not worry about it. Once you learn something, you will be able to replicate and then extend it in the other learning. If you personally ask me which one you should start first, I would say you start with either administrator or a platform app builder, right? Again, it all depends on your exposure, past exposure, right? These two, if you are to start, right, it will put you in the right spot to learn Salesforce platform. Right? Next question might be, okay, how long does it take for me? So today I'm just starting. How long does it take for me to kind of get certified, right? Or complete the learning and then be ready to kind of go for certification, right? That is how we have also designed this program like a 100-day challenge, right? Typically, right, if you can spend a decent amount, like a 2 to 3 hours, per day basis, and you should be able to complete it, a matter of 1 to 2 months, right? So typically every the certification, right, it is geared towards kind of spending about 80 hours or about 100 hours, right? Somewhere around, right? And again, it all varies greatly from your background, right? But then we have still kept it for 100 days. So within 100 days, if you are able to spend on an average 2 to 3 hours, you would definitely be able to be in a position to get at least certified once, if not more than once, maybe. But you should be able to very happily, very confidently navigate through the Salesforce platform. Okay. Any question? I know we are almost reaching noon. Any question on this so far what I have covered? Is my voice coming out okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Good.
yeah.
Okay. Now I just covered about the career path, right? This is for you again to kind of go and do a offline study, right? Explore it, because see, unless you kind of go through it and then read it, do it today itself while this is fresh in your mind. Do it so that you will understand it. Come back with question, right? And similarly, I also talked about the certification that is there, and I've said that there are close to, if I have to count and then tell you the number of certifications and accreditation that the platform has, it is about close to 85, 87. Okay, and the number keeps changing. Okay, somewhere close to in 80s or approaching 90s, right? That many certifications or accreditations you have. Obviously, very rarely, people would have, except for one or two people in the entire ecosystem, that one cannot master everything, right? So do not worry about it. do your part, start, take that first step. Okay, I mean, you are don't compare yourself with someone else. You are only you are trying to be a better version of yourself from yesterday, right? So go with your own pace, but just make the commitment and then regularly learn. That's good enough. Okay, now I will come to the last part of that segment what I was going to cover now. Okay, you're kind of bought into it, and then now you want to get into the next step. How do you go and learn, right? So Salesforce has this platform associated to this, right? Your best friend is Trailhead, right? Once you come here as a tier, right? You have got everything, right? Number one, you are all anything and everything about certification, right? Certification, and there is something called as a stepping stone to it. There is something called super badge, super set, and so on and so forth. Right? It is there. Now, how would you kind of go and get certification? First, you have to learn, right? And that is where you have quite a lot of learning here. The learning is all made fun via so you kind of learn and use levels, right? Like expeditioner, mountaineer, so on and so forth, and then so 1-star ranger, 2-star ranger, etc., right? Based on your learning, right? It becomes very fun to learn. All this learning is kind of categorized into modules, trails, or a trail mix, so on and so forth, right? It's just a different, right? Don't get confused with that. The lowest level of your learning would be like in the form of a module, right? A module can be a theoretical learning. So if I were to show you as an example, right? If I wanted to learn something, I can kind of come here and I can probably see what I want to learn, right? And it also gives you time. Okay, how much time does it take for you to learn? How many points you can expect to learn? I mean, you can expect to earn, right? As an example, this is a simple module. When I come here, right, it is kind of in this form. I simply click the subheading, and it kind of goes through. It kind of introduce you to that particular topic, and then towards the end, they want to validate that you have understood what has been taught here, right? In the form of a quiz, right? Quiz is of two types. One usually, right? One is of this multiple choice MCQ, right? Multiple choice question. You answer it, right? There could be 2 questions, 4 questions, 5, whatever, right? Questions, and then you kind of select the right ones, right? As an example, how can you locate your Trailhead profile page, right? So it kind of say select profile from the icon, or check your custom Trailblazer URL, or Google Trailblazer, right? I'm selecting something. I have not even read it, but I'm just saying that I will select something. Don't worry whether it is going to be right or not. And the true or false. Your Trailhead profile can only be public. True or false. Right? Then when I kind of complete it, I check the quiz. Okay, I got it right? So I get 100 points. And then it kind of gives me more. I mean, it also asks me for a feedback. Is it good or bad? There for internal feedback. Next thing is, it also kind of allows you to kind of nudge you to learn more badges. For example, if I have not got the questions right, I will not do this, but I will just show you, right? So this one has got what, 5 or 6 chapters into it, right? And each one has some 100 points, 200 points and all, right? Let's assume that I intentionally selected something. I have not even read the question or anything. In the interest of time, if I were to click here, check the quiz, and if it were to be wrong, I will have a second attempt, right? And in the second attempt, if I were to be right, I will get 50 points, right? And subsequently 25 points, right? So you see how easy it is, right? You can kind of keep learning. Another learning type is projects, right? This is very important for the budding learners, right? So theory part is one. Second is whatever you have learned, you wanted to get your hands wet, right? As an example, this one, it says upgrade to dynamic related list. There is something. Don't worry about what it is. It is some concept they are teaching, right? So it basically, when you kind of go and look at it here, it has got again the same similar learning, but here if you kind of come here for the quiz, right, it is no longer called quiz, right? Now it is called verify step. What does it mean? It is a hands-on learning, right? So For this, you would have to launch your Salesforce. I will again talk about that, how to do all, but you launch a Salesforce screen, you will go and learn. So this particular type of Salesforce instance is called, they call it as a playground, right? So you will just simply click launch, right? It will open up a Salesforce screen. Do not worry if you have not seen this Salesforce instance, don't worry about it. But I just want to give you that big picture. So you will land on a Salesforce, what otherwise somebody will see as a Salesforce instance, right? You will come here, and then you basically, this is basically nothing but your CRM system, right? It may have sales process, it may have a um, a service process, etc., 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 right? Or you can kind of go and do your own coding and all. But simply all this is asking you is to do something. It is saying that here they have already given a step-by-step activity of what you should do, and then they are asking you, make sure that you indeed do complete it. Once you complete it, you can kind of, you feel like you have completed it, you can kind of come here, and then you can say verify the step, right? When you click it, I know I have not done it, right? So it is going to tell me that, hey, I am not seeing it, you are missing something, right? It will nudge you, it will specifically, most of the times it will tell you what you are missing, right? As simple as that, right? Right? See, step not complete, right? And then it says we cannot find what it cannot find, right? It is, that's what it is saying. So it nudges you. One good thing with the project side is, no matter second time or third time, subsequent time you do, you will still get, you are guaranteed to get the original, whether it is 100, 200 or what, 500, you will get it, right? So it's very easy, it's very gamified, you can learn. Okay, let me take a pause. I'll do a time check. I've just it is 12:07. Can I go for another 5 to 10 minutes, Anand?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay. And so, any question from anybody from so far, whatever I have covered?
What can we do with the points earned?
Right. So this is more like your. So for example, if I were to look at, okay, this is what I'm going to cover next. But if you were to look at how to create a profile under, I will tell. But at a very short answer is, it is your own bragging rights, right? You kind of people, at least in the Salesforce ecosystem, it is very vibrant ecosystem because of, again, I said 3 pillars, right? So the people who are learning, it has become a cult, right? Or a way of doing things, where people kind of very proudly display their achievement. They basically say that, hey, I have got these many badges I have completed, I am an all-star ranger, or I have these many points. This is nothing but, as I did 100 points earlier, right? I earned 100 points that got added my point, so I have something like a 303,000, right? Somewhere around a little over 300,000 points, right? People kind of, you continue to accumulate. It is your learning credits that you have got, simply to, number one, have a bragging rights. Number two, in some cases, right, when you go for an interview or when you wanted to showcase your mastery in that specific area, people end up using this also as to substantiate their mastery or their familiarity in that area, right? So that is what it will be of help, right? Nothing beyond that, but that is just to kind of nudge you, right, to continue to meet your learning goals. Okay, so now I have talked about certification here, I have talked about the learning, all the ones, right? The other one, this is another important pillar in this entire Salesforce ecosystem, is we help each other, right? Like, just like we are in this call, where some of us are trying to help others, and in fact you guys are also helping me, right? By virtue of this call, presenting it, you being the participant, you are helping me to further master my whatever skill, right? I mean, the area that I'm talking. So we help each other in any roles are different, but we help each other. Everybody plays that role, right? Now this has become more formalized in the form of a community, right? Salesforce has various local groups, community groups, like seen in Chennai. There are about groups, right? Any community groups, or any call, any activity that is nowadays. You can even, no matter whether communities in Australia or US, if they have a virtual connect, then probably participate, and then you can kind of meetings. Other one is you are in a project, you are working in a project, you are kind of got stuck in one of the steps, right? It is like an your extended buddy. You can kind of come into this feed where you can kind of post your questions. Hey, I am stuck here, right? And somebody may help, right? That is just to, I mean, it's not that you are outsourcing your watch. This is just to have some extended buddy. So I think somebody's mentioning about that's of work from home, right? I mean, as a starter, you suddenly you get some work, you become nervous because you don't have your tech lead or somebody to kind of support you in person, right? So this you consider as a virtual extended help that you get, right, by being in this community and then the feed, right? So you can kind of go here, and again, people take it as a pride, okay? It goes both ways. For the person who is asking a question, you get the response, right? But the person who is helping you, they kind of become like an answer leaderboard, right? You get featured in the leaderboard, right? How many questions you have, or how many questions you have answered, right? And for a given, it kind of rolling 30-day period and etc. It kind of gives you again a bragging right? See, at the end of the day, in the sales ecosystem, it's all about not only about your own learning and ability, it's all about community giving also, right? So you kind of get to participate in all these items. So that is what this I have talked about, this connect, this area kind of comes into. Okay, so now I will jump into the last part segment that I want to cover. Is now I've said all these things. Now how do you start sign up for all, right? First and foremost, again, go to you can do Google search and or any other search engine. Type Trailblazer Salesforce. I'm in an incognito window. That means it doesn't recognize. So in the other one, when you saw, right, I was the moment I kind of came into this Trailblazer.me, it automatically recognized me because in my cookies it's saved and everything. Right? It automatically takes me here and it gives me my profile, and I have made my profile public and so on and so forth. Right? But then if you were to do this, and then this is where I was just trying to tell, I think when somebody was asking, right, what do I get with the points and all, you get a bragging rights, right? Like, you, like for example, in this case, this is my learning, right, achievements. And then it also tells that how many questions I have answered. Out of those questions that I answered, how many were voted as the best answer, right? So people take pride in it. And then you also get the satisfaction of helping somebody, comes with the recognition, etc., right? You have more connections, so on and so forth, right? Your all learnability all in one place, right? How many certification or accomplishments you have, etc., right? It goes. Now you're taking the big step of trying to kind of learn and then come to this platform, right? So how do you get started? First and foremost, you need to have an identity in the world of Salesforce as the learner or as the practitioner, right? So for that, you first start with enrolling yourself, signing up for Trailblazer, right? So that how you do, right? Again, I'm in incognito window. I kind of simply, you don't have to memorize the URL and all. You simply come, you remember this terms, Trailblazer Salesforce. It will take you to this kind of a link. You can kind of come to any one of the link. You can explore. You first come to this particular be a Trailblazer, right? And then it kind of says login, right? See, I'm in incognito window. That's why it didn't recognize me, right? I can simply sign up, right? Or I can try for free, or I can say a Trailblazer account, right? I can click it. First and foremost, you have to have an account, right? And how do you get an account? I mean, what type of an account you will get? Again, Salesforce has made it very, very easy, right? They also support social sign on, right? Like you can, if you have you have a Google account using Google, you can kind of sign up, MuleSoft, LinkedIn, etc., right? I usually try to initially, I would have tried with, a simple email. You can simply kind of type your any email ID you have. If you want, you can do it, or you can kind of continue with your Salesforce instance if you have one, right? How do you Salesforce instance about it? But then anyway, so once you do this Trailblazer sign up, you can expect to see something like when you come here and then you're given enough permission and all. Next time when you come to this, I said, right, trailblazer.me, you would land on this particular kind of a page where you would have and it would recognize your name and everything. So that is the reason why once you have logged in, now I start learning all my badges and everything starts appearing in my against my profile, so that it gets accounted for, right? That is a simple step. Now, as you do this, you also, like I said, you can also continue with Salesforce, meaning if you already have signed up for a Salesforce instance, using that also you can sign up. As an example, when I click continue with Salesforce, it will take me to a page, a Salesforce login page, where I can give my credentials, right? Now, how do I get that credentials, right? To do that, okay, before I go with that, does it make sense? Any question? Because this is very important, I want each one of you to try it after we finish this call. But do you understand what I just talked about this Trailblazer .me Trailblazer profile sign up? Okay, I take. Okay, super. Now the second one is, you can also sign up for Salesforce Developer Edition. How do you do it? I can also again do this Salesforce edition sign up. Simply use your internet search engine to your advantage. That's why I'm intentionally kind of doing the search. You would get this link, Developer Edition sign up. So Salesforce, again, to reduce the entry barrier, they have given, unlike many other platforms, they have given you an instance for you to log in, play around, get the view of all the most of the capabilities available for you free of cost. Just that the capacity will be limited. Like for example, it is very rationed, as we kind of talked about it earlier, but you get to view all the capability. As an example, in this edition, if I won't say you have to sign up, I would get maybe 2 admin or 1 admin, right? User. Usually it used to be 2. I don't know whether it has changed to 1 or still 2. Whereas when you kind of go and sign up as a customer, we talked about some of the customers who are getting Salesforce instance and all, right? When they kind of go for it, they will purchase the licenses. They may say, I want 1,000 Salesforce user license, which means they get 1,000, potentially 1,000 admins, right? I mean, not that we do it, but I'm saying potentially 1,000 admins can be there, or 1,000 users can log in with who can do pretty much all the activities. In this instance, developer edition, you only get 1 or 2, right? So idea here is for you to learn by logging into the R. Okay. So the action item for you is, first I talked about going to the history of Salesforce and learn, and I told you google.finance.com or any other financial website, and then search for Salesforce, and then under some of the financial details and other details. That is the second um, action item I gave you. Action item is sign up for trailblazer.me, right? I will again show you trailblazer.me. Sign up for it. Fourth one is sign up for Salesforce developer instance. That's it. I mean, I have taken almost 18 extra minutes, but I will take a pause. That is, I want to leave you with. There are other learning materials that are there here. In the interest of time, I would let you explore. Like for example, Salesforce has its own YouTube channel. It has got Idea Exchange, something else, or Stack Exchange, or Twitter. Go and learn. But in the interest of time, I will stop with this, and I will open up for any question if you have. Thank you.